Hi everyone. I'm really happy to be back to SaaStock here, and thanks for the introduction. Well, drink entrepreneurs like a while ago, and it's not really up to date. But anyway, I will try also to introduce myself very quickly. So as Tom mentioned, I'm the founder of a SaaS startup, Bootstrapped, called Collect, and I'm also the host of a podcast in French called SaaS Connection. So if you speak French or if you want to learn French while listening interesting content, you can go while on the podcast app to listen SaaS Connection. So good news. I won't be self-promoting today because I will talk about scaling, about hiring, nothing to say with document collection or onboarding. And I will just try, you will try, to imagine scaling your startup to twice its current size without hiring a single new employee. How will you do that? The good news is, since the last edition of SaaStock, the world changed and we all discovered generative AI. So I will try to explain how you can leverage generative AI to do that. But before we jump in, I want to come back on, I would say, the specific challenges that you have as a bootstrapper. So the first one is you don't have unlimited funds. You have limited time, and you have, of course, limited human resources. You may struggle to attract the top talents in your company because you can't offer exactly the same thing that VC-backed startups. And I think maybe it's the most important thing, you need to find the right trade-off between growth and sustainability. So you can't do, I would say, growth at the same space than a VC-funded startup. But the good news is, because you are competing probably with VC-funded startup, is the party is quite over for VC-funded startups. The funding changed a lot, and what we heard is lots of VCs are asking their portfolio companies to focus on capital efficiency, which was not even a word before. So yeah, I think it's one of the, I would say, new challenge for VC-funded startup. And so, in fact, VC-funded startups and bootstraps kind of have the same challenge right now. What's fun is, so the situation changed, I would say, last year due to different reasons. The rate increased, the war in Ukraine, so the world changed. And the world changed also because AI is becoming a new thing, I would say, for the public. So AI has been here for a long time. There are different types of AI, and it's not very new for lots of people. The new thing is generative AI. And if you look at Google Trend, AI was nearly, I would say, nothing under last year. And since OpenAI announced ChatGPT on November 2022, then it really became something. So ChatGPT, OpenAI has been growing like crazy. And I will try to tell you how it can impact your startup, your bootstrap startup, and how you can leverage that. The thing is, it will impact your startup in three ways. First, you can be disrupted by AI per player. You can integrate AI in your product. But for this talk, we will focus on the third one, or you can improve the productivity of your team using AI, which is a little bit different. I think that generative AI is a unique opportunity for bootstrap startups to reduce the gap with VC-backed startups by empowering their employee. And if you try to imagine an org chart, I would say we all have different companies, but in the end, we kind of have the same org charts. So here are, I would say, very basic org charts that you can have in your SaaS company. And if you look at each of them, there are now companies powered by AI that will help each of them. This is I would say, a market map, one of 100, maybe more. I think it's changing like every month. New incumbents every day. If you look at Product Hunt, for example, you will see lots of new players every day. So it's changing a lot. Most of them are just wrapper around OpenAI GPT. But anyway, in the end, there are lots of different solutions. So I will go through, I would say, how it can impact the different positions in your company. And then I will try to give you some feedbacks from the trenches, how I use, for example, ChatGPT on a daily basis, and how you can do that too. Customer support. I think, for me, it's the top of mind thing when talking about AI and how you can improve that. And it's not only like giving some direct reply using AI. And I think if you've been to Dev Trainer presentation this morning, he mentioned how AI is implemented in Intercom. And so, for example, what's clever, I would say, is you can use AI for lots of things. You can use AI to suggest reply, but also to improve the text that will be sent to your customer, to expand it, to rephrase it, to adjust the tone. I'm not, as you can see or listen, I'm not a native speaker in English. So typically, this is a kind of tool that I love because we can do, I would say, pretty good customer support without being native. You can also summarize conversation. Let's say that you have 10 emails back and forth with your customers. The last one was maybe 1 week ago. You have no clue it's what's talking about. Now with AI, you can just summarize that like by the click of a button. And you can also generate Help Centers articles very easily in a few clicks. Companies like Intercom, Crisp, or Zendesk did that pretty well, and they went pretty fast on implementation. So this is the example of Intercom. This is the example of Crisp. But it's not the only position impacted. The next one is sales. Talking about sales, there are lots of different companies leveraging AI. And what you can do, what you can expect from AI for the sales is you can send the right message at the right time, upload that. Well, at least it's a promise. You can improve the outbound emails using AI. I think the guys from Lavender are around. You can update your CRM automatically. Updating CRM, well, I mean, pushing data in CRM is a pain for all the sales. And so now using AI, you can just, it can automatically have the transcript of the call, for example, and just to improve the CRM data. And you can accelerate sales onboarding using Gong, for example. For content marketing, it's also one of the top of mind. There are lots of examples, good and ones. I think lots of people try to do that, and then they will say, "Oh no, it's not good because you've probably done a very bad prompt, and then you're just throwing away the solution, saying no, it's not as good as a content writer." But it's coming better and better. I think there are lots of good solutions also launched every day. Top of mind at Jasper, Copy.ai. You can also now create some ads directly using AI. So copywriting and design, for example, using ad creative. So it's really changing, I would say, the marketing position and what you can do using AI. For the tech part, it's huge. Who is coding here? Oh, some of you. OK, great. So for the tech part, you can use AI to be assisted when you are coding. So you can use Cody, you can use GitHub Copilot. You can also, I didn't mention, but you can use ChatGPT for all of them. It's just not integrated in your main tool. You can do front-end development, which is quite awesome because you basically you go on Figma, you do your design, and then it will develop all the front end automatically using AI. You can refactor or improve the creation of your code. You can create unit tests. It's boring to create unit tests. You can do that using AI. You can understand a function. You can write documentation. It's also boring to write documentation. And if you decide to move from one language to the other, you can use AI to just adapt your code from one language to the other. So it's not over. I would say finance and HR are also impacted by AI. While for accounting, it's been a long time that we have some automated processes, so it's not very new. The new thing, for example, is fraud detection. There are lots of things to do if you have automated processes. Then the problem is, how do you detect fraud? And AI is pretty good for that. You can also have answers directly with your query. For example, let's say that I want to do a presentation like this. I need to have like a graph, a chart of the number of employees that I have in my company over the last year. Just put a query. How many companies did I have every year, and so on? Okay, so you won't need to crush data anymore. And you can also test assumption, for example, when you do budgets or planning. And also it will impact recruiting. I will try to go fast, not to be boring, but there are also different tools that you can use. I would say horizontal AI, so basically that will be spread around the company. So for example, Slides, which is kind of a knowledge base that you can have in your company. They just implemented AI, so it's great because, for example, let's say, how many leaves can I get every year? You just type that naturally, and then it will give you the answers instead of trying to find where it's stored. You can, and so lots of different companies. I like this chart because it just proves, I would say, the maturity of AI depending on the medium. And it's going pretty well. If you have a look, I would say nearly in 3 years it will already be matured, and in 7 years it will be implemented nearly everywhere. If we come back to our org charts, you can see that I put some next to, I would say, the functions that for me are already really AI ready. And so, as you can see, all of them can be improved using AI. Now I will try to give you my feedback from the trenches, what I did, mostly using ChatGPT, and to give you maybe some ideas. With using ChatGPT on the daily basis? Not so much. Or you're shy. Weekly basis? Okay. And who tried it once and thought it was shit and never came back? No, none of you. Okay. This is an example of my portal. So my company is called Collect. And so this is a portal that is generated using my software. And every time I have to do a demo, what I try to do is, so it's not focused on a specific industry. And it's kind of a nightmare because every time I've got a demo, I try to have a look. OK, this guy is a mortgage broker. I will prepare a portal to show how a portal can be for a mortgage broker, and so on. So, but most of the time it's different. Now I found a solution. I'm using ChatGPT. I'm using ChatGPT with a very basic prompt saying, for example, I'm a bankruptcy attorney, and I need to collect documents from my clients. Can you suggest a list of documents and give me the results as a table? I can just take that, put that in my software, and I can prepare the demo in a second. So it's not, I would say, rocket science, but in fact, it just saves me probably 10 to 15 minutes. Same here, I don't see anything. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Product marketing. So in this example, so I'm also coding, and sometimes I need to do copywriting for the product. And this little message, you don't know how to name it, and you're spending maybe 10 minutes. Oh, how this software is doing it. Oh, how this software is doing that. Using ChatGPT is very easy. You just explain with your own words what you're doing. Okay, I'm currently building this feature. I need to put some error message on my product. Can you suggest 4 different sentences for this? And then they will give you the different suggestion. You just need to pick one or to modify it. And you will save again a few minutes. For this, I'm sorry. Okay, DocuSign. I did a partnership with DocuSign recently. And the thing is, when you become a partner with DocuSign, you need to fill out 4 different forms, very long. You don't know exactly what the usage of these different forms, asking you kind of the same question every time. Oh, what's your solution? What the best value, and so on. And so what I did, I do have, I would say, a pre-made prompt explaining what Collect does. So I just copy-paste that, and then I just give them, OK, I'm currently filling out forms to become a DocuSign partner. Here is what the solution does. I will just copy-paste a different question, and please suggest different answers. I did that, and I did the 4 different forms in half an hour. I would probably have spent maybe 2-3 different hours to do the same. I told you also I'm the host of a podcast, and I'm using AI now quite a lot to save me time. So I do the recording in person, so I can't really use AI to reduce this part. For the editing stuff, the thing is, I'm pretty much doing non-editing. The only thing is I'm doing a transcript, and then I have a look for the word cut. Because every time I need to make a cut in my podcast, I say the word cut, so I know where to look at when I'm editing my podcast. So now the editing is very, very short. I do have the transcript. I can copy paste it, in my case in Notion, and then I say, OK, this is a transcript of my podcast, please. And this is different samples of the description of the podcast that I used before. Now, please suggest one. It gives me the description of the episode, and I'm doing the same for the promotion of the episode on LinkedIn. And for promotion, so social media, I'm using ChatGPT or Notion. And I'm also creating some shorts, the short videos. And I'm using a solution called Submagic. There are tons of solutions. I like this one. And basically, you just upload your video, the shorts that you want to do. It will do the transcript. It will prepare all the subtitles, like doing one of these short form. Takes me maybe 5 minutes. And it used to take me half an hour or 1 hour, or it used to cost me quite a lot if I worked with freelancers. So for me, it's kind of a game changer. Oh yeah, a new one. When you are coding, there is something that I hate. It's regex. If you use, regex, it's kind of a nightmare. And ChatGPT is very good for regex. You just need to say, OK, I want to do this type of regex, and they will give you the solution, and they will also explain to you how they did the regex. And I think I'm out of time, so I will try to go fast. And also, you can just use ChatGPT, for example, for code optimization. You can copy-paste some function of your code, saying, OK, this is my code. Can you suggest improvement? Can you suggest things to improve? And it does the job very quickly. It's not, I would say, magical. You need to think of ChatGPT or any AI solution, I would say, as your always on, always ready super intern. It's like an intern you are on their shoulder telling them what to do. If we have to go fast, there are lots of pros and cons using generative AI in your startups. But I think if it's a reflex in your company, if every time you are thinking about, OK, how can I do that? Instead of opening Google, for example, open ChatGPT, you will save time, and it will be a time saver. There have been some studies proving that the results using AI is better than the results without using AI. One of them is really recent with the Boston Consulting Group. So that's why I think it's also a good solution. It's cost effective. ChatGPT, which is, well, I told you about lots of solutions, but if you only have to use one, it's ChatGPT, and it only costs $20 a month. So for the results, it's a no-brainer. It's available, well, 24/7, and it's consistent in task performance. The cons, you need to train. And you need to, I would say, to learn in your company to other people how to use it. I've heard about a few tips about that. For example, you can have a Slack channel, and you can share the good prompts, saying, hey, I just tried that. You can use the same. So people can learn. Or you can just have like a meeting or lunch every month, sharing everything. And you can also lose lots of time trying different tools. For example, because of the topic, I was thinking about using an AI tool to generate this presentation. And I spent maybe 3 or 4 hours that I could have spent on the presentation just to try different tools. And unfortunately, none of them were good. When we were talking about automation, I would say maybe 10 years ago, with the beginning of Zapier and all the API and so on, there is this graph, and it's well known for the developers. And basically, it's if you want to automate something, if you want to automate a task, you need to think about how many times you're doing that and the length of this task. So, and this way, you can know if it's worth it to, I would say, to invest in this task to automate it. So I think it's a good one. Just to have in mind, OK, I want to automate that. Well, is it worth it? The last tips, start small. Use ChatGPT. Like, it should be your go-to solution. It should be always open in your browser. Invest time in training your team. Maybe you remember the old time when we were all using Excel. There was always like an Excel wizard in the company that knows better than the other how to use it. And the last thing is stay updated. It's going very, very fast. It's changing every day. There are new solutions every day. I'm pretty sure that in 1 month or 2, my presentation will be outdated. So keep updated. And that's all. Thank you for listening. If you want to connect, you can just scan the QR code. Thank you.